I'd like to begin by thanking all the presenters for sharing their insights and comments and perspectives on a variety of issues, a variety of themes related to hydraulic fracturing. So thank you all so much. One of the things I'm thinking in terms of considerations for the panel is there is a key task, I believe, for the panel to present existing information in a fair and unbiased manner to explain not only the abilities and capacities of technology, but to also take notice of the limitations that exist within those very technologies. As technology pushes the limits of what we can do and where we can go, we must also ask the question on whether or not it is appropriate technology. It is the Assembly's position that we oppose any hydraulic fracturing on our traditional lands and resources. This position is informed in part through a number of conclusions and rationales. We find that hydraulic fracturing is an unconventional drilling technique, one that is largely in its evolutionary stages from a technology perspective. We also note that no one person or company is perfect in their practices. Inevitably, mistakes can and will be made, and we will, as a result of that, face the consequences of that. The Assembly finds that the risks associated with hydraulic fracturing do not outweigh the benefits or the rewards that it provides, and that there has to be some kind of alternative, a more green approach to meeting our existing energy needs. We should not be forced to accept technology that is in the process of learning through each well that is drilled within the province, where each chapter is another chapter within the book of hydraulic fracturing within the province. The uncertainties surrounding the practice of hydraulic fracturing and associated risks do not respect our legal and human rights to the lands and resources. It does not respect the rights of all Nova Scotians as well to access clean and safe drinking water. In the alternative, if for some reason government permits hydraulic fracturing to take place on our traditional lands, we further suggest that, as Twyla has mentioned earlier, that any new regulations, policies, or amendments to existing regulations will require meaningful and thorough consultations with the Mi'kmaq of Nova Scotia under the consultation terms of reference. Given the cumulative effects of hydraulic fracturing, given that it is unknown, further scientific and traditional knowledge studies needs to be done to assess the risks associated with it and to predict any future impacts on our rights and, for that matter, the rights of all Nova Scotians. With respect to some final thoughts, as I mentioned previously, with rights for the Mi'kmaq come responsibilities. And as our elder Albert Marshall has mentioned, when he mentioned that nature has the rights and it is humans that have the responsibilities. And certainly the Mi'kmaq have the responsibility to protect and preserve the lands and resources for the benefit of all our future generations. And one of the things that the Mi'kmaq also believe in part is that we are entering a new stream of consciousness. As Albert mentioned, we are entering into a new cycle from one generational cycle to another. And this flow allows for a higher vibration or perspective on how we view the world and our relationship to it. We are not separate from the land. And as Albert mentioned earlier, we are the eyes, ears, and voice for Mother Earth. It is part of us, and it is through our collective efforts that we must shift this age. We can shift our views on science and technology and view what is possible from a higher perspective, a perspective that is grounded within our very own message from water. The flow and freshness of water nurtures all. We are creators, and we must remember our divine authority and inherent sovereignty. When we see water as an invaluable and sacred resource, its flow carries us from place to place. And in a very special way, we are all keepers of water. As we look upon the earth and see the faces of the unborn coming from beneath the earth, we begin to see our place within our earth mother, Sitkamu. And as we remember our relationship and purpose, we begin to feel our connection to water, the sacred role it plays, and our responsibility towards it. This presentation is part of a larger recognition that as humans, we must change. We must change existing paradigms on the use and exploitation of fossil fuels. We must seek alternatives that make sense, alternatives that are environmentally sustainable, and alternatives that respect our unique connection to water and the sacred role it plays. Willalio, and thank you very much.